name is David Gunn. These are my memoirs on MetalTV.
Hey, what's up, Metal Mother Truckers? It's Axel for Berlin MetalTV again, and today I've got the great opportunity to sit right next to the singer of a band called King810. This is Mr. David Gunn. Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm pretty fine. So just tell me, how is the tour going so far?
Good. Unimaginable. The size and the people that come out and see in all the countries that we never even have heard of. So it's, in every aspect, it's kind of overwhelming. So it's good. And
you're touring with Slipknot and particularly with Korn. Those are kind of idols for you?
This would be one of the best I could dream up, you know. So it's kind of probably bittersweet because after this, it's kind of like, what do you do, you know? So it's good. It's really good. So far I've watched both bands every night of it just because they're so good, you know what I mean?
And is there anything you have learned from Slipknot or Korn?
Yeah, I can't even start. I try to watch John and Corey, you know, see what they do and how they do it, but I'm still confused after 50 shows about how exactly they do what they do. So yeah, I try to watch it, you know, pay attention to they're charismatic and they got all the right words to say and they do everything right. So I've watched it a few dozen times now and I still don't got it down. So I try to learn whatever I can, but it's kind of tougher than it seems, I guess.
Do you think you could pick up anything for King after seeing them so often?
But I just hope that subconsciously something is seeping in after watching them for so many hours, that something's going in there that's going to make us better, you know what I mean? When you play with people that are better than you and people that are more experienced in what you're doing, that's kind of the way that you evolve and get better, and it's more of a challenge because it's not like we're going out and blowing them off the stage every night, you know what I mean? It's tough. They're tough to play.
I was following King810 through the internet, and I read all the comments below your videos and stuff, and I was wondering why people are telling things like you're not out of Flint and they never heard of you.
No, all those people, you know, are on the internet. They're not from Flint and know any better, you know what I mean? These are people that go online to talk because they can't talk in person. So no, everyone knows, everyone in Flint and around Flint knows who we are, and it's clear. We shoot every video in Flint. Every one of our songs is placed in Flint. We have half the town there in our video, you know what I mean? Real people in Flint. I mean, no one that we know and no one from Flint would ever actually say that we're not from there. So basically, just to get attention, they went to the next thing they could find. What's the one thing that we, you know, stand for, and that is, you know, present in what we're doing, and it's Flint. So they just say, you know, these guys aren't from Flint.
When you're returning to Flint time after time and growing bigger with your band, what is it like to be back in town? Is it the normal Dave you've been?
Yeah, no, it's the same. It's I haven't noticed a change yet, you know what I mean? A lot of people there, they don't even, you know, care, I guess, you know. They think it's good what we're doing and they support it, but when we come home, it's the same people doing the same things, and we aren't treated any differently because we have some deal or on some tour or anything like that. It's the same thing. So when we go back home, it's kind of like we didn't ever leave, you know what I mean?
And what are you doing when you have your free time, not touring?
Just working on the next thing, usually for the group. We like to make a lot of visuals for our songs, and always writing more songs and working on the next idea or the next thing. We do everything, every facet of the band, whether it's merch or video or any decisions involving the band with records and recording and tours and any of that. We make all the calls, so it kind of keeps us busy with handling what the next plan is, you know what I mean?
You said that there are new songs you're working on, so King will continue?
Its own thing. It won't be a continuation of Memoirs, but we're just constantly writing. When we started writing for Memoirs in 2009, and we didn't finish, and it didn't come out until this last year in 2014, that's where the 5 years kind of came from. In that span, we probably wrote 50 or 60 things, and I think we ended up recording something like 25 songs or something like that. And when we finished the record, we kept writing more just because we write, and you know what I mean? We're not going to make a 10-song record every 2 years like most heavy bands will. We're going to put music out multiple times a year, you know what I mean? 10 songs for 2 or 3 or 4 years is not, that's not how we're going to do it.
And is the sound going to be the same like on Memoirs?
It'll still be King, but I never want to make the same record twice. So if anyone's expecting Memoirs 2 or something, then they might as well just not buy it when it comes out, because we're never going to make the same record twice.
What about the lyrics? They are on Memoirs. They are pretty dark and aggressive. Are you going to continue with that style of writing?
Yeah, I feel like anything we do, it's still going to be King. It's not going to sound like a different band, the next record, or anything like that. It's just not going to be redundant and sound like something we've already done or could have done or could have been on Memoirs. You know what I mean? It's still going to be us. We're not going to change as people, as far as how we were brought up and how we were raised and what type of people we are. I'm not going to go and find a whole new thing to talk about or reinvent the wheel with the next record. It's still going to be King. It'll just kind of be an evolution of King instead of doing something we've already done.
Okay. And now you're going to support a rapper, when I'm right, the Tech 9?
Tech 9 to us doesn't necessarily weird us out, I guess. We're not confused. When Tech asked us to go on the tour with him, we just said yeah, because we wanted to go. We don't think how it's going to look to the people online that have something to say or that he's a rapper. We like Tech, so we'll go on the road with him. If Slipknot were to ask us to go on the road with them and they were some local band from Des Moines, Iowa that didn't sell arenas out, we would still go with them because we like them. We're not interested in going and finding a bunch of bands like King and going on the road with them like everyone wants us to. You know, we're not going to hop on the next heavy metal tour going through town. We're going to do the tours we want to do. We're not ever going to be on a bill that we don't want to be on. When a band comes out, they kind of have to pound the pavement, and you have to get out there and you have to expose yourself to everyone, and you have to take a bunch of, you know, tours you might not want to do, but we're not going to do that. We're never going to go on a tour we don't want to go on. So if we're on a tour, it's because we endorse the idea of the tour, and also because we don't necessarily take into consideration what anyone else has to say. Tech 9, he's an independent MC, and he's always, you know, he's good. So what King does and what Tech 9 does don't necessarily seem that different to me, you know what I mean?
Thank you for the interview, David.
Thank you.
Have a great show, looking forward to it, and have a good night.
Thanks.